Everyone, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Amelia and I post new life and style videos every Wednesday at 4 p.m. I cannot wait to embarrass myself greatly for your entertainment. But back in high school, you'll remember Twilight, and I was obsessed. Had a Taylor Lautner cutout in my room. I had like the giant movie poster above my bed. I had like the little Alice choker. I had Twilight notebooks. I was part of like a Twilight Saga reading group in high school. Even went to a Twilight convention. And oh yeah, I wrote Twilight fanfiction. Which is extremely cringy and embarrassing to say. So I literally combed for 2 days pages and pages and pages of fan fiction, trying different filters, different years, all this stuff to find it. I just thought I would read it for you guys because there is nothing else to do. So I actually wrote 4 different fan fictions. One was a 1-chapter story about Leah Clearwater, who is like a kind of minor character in the Twilight series, and I just kind of had this like, I don't know, story in me, I guess, that she finally found a fiance but then he dies. You know, just normal teenage stuff. Then I wrote 2 Twilight fan fictions, and I only thought I wrote 1, and I thought it was like maybe max 8 chapters. It's 32 chapters and 73,000 words. So once that was completed, it wasn't enough, so I then wrote a sequel to this that contained 4 chapters and 37,000 words. The first one is called When It Rains, which is a Paramore song. It says, "And when it rains, you will always find escape, just running away from all the ones you love, from everything dash Paramore." So obviously that's a line from the song. And then I do another dash. Ironic how my favorite song applied to my life right now. So this is written in the point of view of Renesmee / Nessie, which for those of you who don't know, is Edward and Bella's love child that almost kills Bella. So when you click it, it then says AN, which I think is author's note. I said, "Hey, this is my first fanfic, and I really hope you like it. A lot of smaller details will be explained as the story goes on. I promise not to abandon the story, but it might take a while to update sometimes." So, the preface. All of a sudden, my life was moving at the speed of sound, and there was no way to stop it. Sure, I wanted all that I did and all that I was doing, but I guess I never realized I was still a 7-year-old at heart. Not ready for big girl stuff, as my grandma once put it. Today was the day. I could feel the earth change its course a little. The birds were chirping wildly. The wind picked up to a gale. And I heard the first whimper escape my husband's mouth. That's when I knew there was no hope, no light, no nothing to save me from whatever this was. I was on my own now, and what could be a very long time. Now, that triggers literally nothing in my memory. I have no clue what this is about to be about. First chapter is called Get Used to It. Starts out in italic. Renesmee Carly Cullen, do you take Jacob Ephraim Black to be your husband? I do. I smiled with tears of joy streaming down my face. And Jacob Ephraim Black, do you take Renesmee Carly Cullen to be your wife? The priest repeated again. Answer the man, would you? I ordered, starting to get impatient with this boy's joking manner. Okay, I'm just weighing my options here, but I do. I squealed like a little girl while he placed a ring on my finger. Now I pronounce you Mr. and Mrs. Jacob Black. You may kiss the bride. I practically jumped into Jake's arms, not caring who was watching, even if it was only Alice and Embry. They clapped for us as Jake and I kissed for at least a minute. Embry, I presume, cleared his throat, and that's when we both let go. Forever and ever. Renesmee. Renesmee, wake up, you're gonna be late, come on, Aunt Alice screeched in my ear. It was, of course, the first day of school, for me at least. I walked over to my closet full of new clothes for the new year. That's what Alice had said to commence her shopping spree. I didn't mind it at all. I actually enjoy shopping and makeup and parties, unlike my mother, in parentheses, Bella, in case like you didn't know and you were just curious what a Twilight fanfic would be. I pulled on my hot pink dress with a cute pair of rain boots because even though we don't live in Forks anymore, we still need the rain, which is why we moved down south, but only to Portland, Oregon. Carlisle got a good job at the local hospital and Jake still gets to see his pack on the weekends. I let my curly auburn hair flow down my back with a little sparkly bow pinned in the side. I applied my gold eyeshadow with some mascara. I bounded down the stairs at the smell of my grandmother cooking waffles for me and Jake, who would be arriving in a few minutes. I literally have a hot pink dress, and I do have a sparkly, not bow pin, but like clip. Am I Renesmee? We move on. Good morning, sweetie, my father, Edward said, kissing the top of my head. Morning, Dad, Mom, hugging both of them before I sat down to eat. Well, don't you look gorgeous today, babe? Jake said, taking my face in his and giving me a good morning kiss. My father cleared his throat at us and my mom slapped him in the back of the head. He still hadn't gotten over the fact that Jake and I were married, and if that wasn't bad enough, he wasn't allowed to live with me in this house. Luckily, there was an apartment complex on the main road down the street from our house. But like, why was she getting married? But they can't live together? But Edward was okay with them marrying each other? I don't know. There's some plot holes here so far. Thanks. You look pretty hot yourself, I responded. Okay, well, we should get going now, my dad interrupted. Have a good day at school, guys. Don't get caught. Love you all, Esme called after us as we divided ourselves up between cars. You remember the story? Edward asked. Edward, she's not an idiot, Bella said. I know, but sometimes I wonder. Yes, I do remember, I answered back. Well, what is it, Missy? Edward asked, getting impatient with me like he did lately. All right, now, this is a doozy, so keep up. Carlisle and Esme adopted you and Emmett, then took in a family friend's child, aka Bella, when her friends died in a car accident. Then a few years later, Carlisle and Esme were in Canada helping an orphanage where they found the twins, Rose and Jasper. Jasper already became very close with Alice and wouldn't leave without her. Then Esme's sister died and I got brought in already married to Jake. The end. Yo, I totally feel like there was a way simpler way to go about explaining all these kids that Carlisle and Esme have, but whatever. Good, and what else? Be careful if anyone wants to shake your hand, blah, 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 freak the humans out, blah, blah, blah. If we all remember, Renesmee like has a power that like she can touch you and show you what she's thinking. As we pulled into the parking lot, we got a few stares, but everyone else just ignored us until we got out. All 8 of us stood together and walked into the school with a lot of stares and double takes and whistling. I thought my father was going to hurt someone. Vile human thoughts, he sneered, too low for any of them to hear. The bell rang, signifying we must leave for first period. Jake and I were sophomores along with Alice, Bella and Edward were juniors, and Emmett, Rose, and Jasper were seniors. All my classes were with Jake at request, while Alice was only in 5 of my classes. You have fun now. Love you. Take care of her, Jacob. My mom called as I waved goodbye, off to room 115 for math. We stepped in class and all eyes shot over to me, then Alice, and then the giant tan boy standing behind me holding my hand. All their faces had different expressions. Some of the girls looked interested, some of them looked stuck up. The guys were checking us out or sizing up Jacob, but most looked surprised. Get used to it, Alice whispered, dancing over to 3 seats in the back row. So the next chapter is called Why Is Everyone So Damn Friendly? Which is a question I still hold to this day. Author's note, got my first review and was really excited for it, so keep reviewing. This chapter is a little longer, but I feel most of the info is needed. Good morning, class, and welcome to your 2nd year at Portland High School. Teacher spoke with a lot of enthusiasm. My name is Mrs. Edwards. The 3 of us chuckled at ourselves at the irony. Something funny over there? She asked, pointing her finger at us. No, not at all, Alice chirped. Well, since you're so eager, why don't you go first, introducing yourself to the class? Okay, my name is Alice Cullen. Oh, she's a Cullen, one of the girls whispered to her friend. I heard they're all really pale and gorgeous, her friend informed her. Yeah, well, I also heard they're all coupled, but I think I might change that. I almost let out a growl when she said that, eyeing my Jacob. Girls, stop the chatter, Mrs. Edwards said sternly. She motioned for me to continue the introductions. Like, how fast does word get around in Portland High? Damn. Hello, my name is Renesmee Cullen, but most people call me Nessie for short. Like the Loch Ness Monster, one of the girls questioned. Well, I wasn't named after the Loch Ness Monster. I was named after both of my grandmas, Renee and Esme, I shot back. That's enough. Would you go, please? Mrs. Edward asked Jake. Hey, my name's Jacob Black. We continued around the room until we got to the 2 girls who I could tell I was not going to like. My name's Ashley Brianna Mayer. She was the girl who was eyeing Jake. This is so rude. All right, I wrote her skirt was way too short with way too much eyeliner and a may not have had much experience in the world, but I could see she was the girl every guy liked and every girl wished they could be. Ashley had long blonde hair with blonder highlights, green eyes, and unnaturally tan. Hi, my name is Tori Gallagher, otherwise in the real world known as Ashley's sidekick. Yo, why did I write her so rude? All right. Tori was definitely, but I always constantly spell definitely as defiantly. Tori was definitely prettier with layered black hair, gray eyes. She was unnaturally tan, but didn't wear 5 pounds of makeup. Then we had Italian third with Miss Russo and Alice. Ashley was in that class and chose a seat right next to Jake, smiling and waving to him the whole time. And the best part was he held my hand the whole time and paid a little attention to her. Like... Fourth period rolled around, which meant computers with Mr. Sims. The bell rang finally for 5th period, where I could relax at lunch with the rest of my family. How was your day so far? Renesmee Bella asked. Fine, I guess the classes seem easy, but the people are so unfair, my father put in. Yes, it's like all the guys are interested and all the girls hate you. I don't even know anyone and they seem to know me. I was getting so frustrated with the real world. Happens all the time. It's just because we're different and normal people don't know how to react to that. But the thing is, like, the only thing that makes them different is like they're pale. My dad was staring at something behind me and with narrowed eyes, and his lips began to part before he caught himself. What's wrong, Edward? I asked. It felt so weird to call my parents by their first names. The football team has their eye on a certain person. Oh great, here they come now. I turned to look around and I saw 3 bulky guys making a beeline for our table. Jacob tensed next to me, pulling me closer to him. I soothed him, telling be okay. He seemed to relax a little. So any of you ladies free? One of the guys spoke up with a smug smile on his face. Excuse me, Rosalie snapped. You're right. How rude of me not to introduce myself. I'm Chris, and this here, pointing the guy to his right, he's Anthony, and over here, pointing to his left, is Greg. We were wondering if any of you were free tonight. There's a rally for football, and we wouldn't want to go alone. Thanks, but I'd rather stick bamboo shoots under my manicured nails. Besides, I'm with Emmett, Rose grinned. Wow. Yeah, I just don't like football, besides the fact I'm kinda sorta with Jasper, Alice noted. She's with me, Edward sneered. Greg backed away a little when Edward said that and shot a warning glance in his direction. Well, what about me, sweetie? Chris snagged, brushing his hand across my cheek. Like, so bold for the first day of school, meeting for the first time, all this stuff. Jake jumped out of his chair, almost knocking me over. He stared down Chris and spoke in the harshest voice I ever heard. You do not touch my wife. Wife? Chris asked, astonished. Yeah, wife. I informed him, showing all of them the ring. Whoa, well, okay, I see how it is. And with that, the 3 of them were off. Other than that, lunch went on without a hitch. I got to science 7th with Mr. Crawford. I had the pleasure of having an assigned seat right next to Ashley, who sat in front of Jacob. She made passes at him the whole time. Finally, Jacob told her to quit it, as he would never ever date someone like that and only had eyes for me. That speech shut her up. For today at least. Walking along my own business when I walked into a door and my papers flew everywhere. Some girl and guy came up to me to help. They looked familiar. I think they were both in math and science with me. Hi, I'm Roxy and this is Jeremy. Oh, hi, I'm Renesmee. Yes, we know. Your family is the talk of the school, Jeremy said. I am quite aware of that. Look, whatever Ashley or Tori does, don't pay them any attention. Just forget them, Roxy told me. Thanks, I was planning on it anyway. Well, it just seems she has a thing for Jake. Yeah, him. Is he your boyfriend? Husband, actually. They both looked at each other confused. Long story. Here he comes now. Jake, this is Roxy and Jeremy. I introduced him to them. Oh, hey guys, he said, eyeing the both of them oddly. Nessie, come on, we're gonna be late. I could hear Bella calling in the distance. Well, I should get going. Thank you guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Sounds good, Jeremy answered. I guess instant friends. Jake and I ran for the Volvo. As we were taking off, I saw Roxy and Jeremy take off through the door and head for the woods. Scandalous. Okay, so there's obviously 32 more chapters, which I will not put anyone through. Let's just like go to the author's note at the end and see whatever. So it says the last author's note. I just have to say I had a wonderful time writing this story, and all the reviews I've gotten were amazing. All of you who have stayed with me from the beginning, and even if you just caught up, I say thanks a bunch. Also, I know my spelling and grammar are horrible at times, so you guys were great for dealing with that. I'm also very happy to announce that there will be a sequel to this story. Wow, I think I'm like an actual writer. Put me on author's alert so you don't miss out. Oh my god, look at me with the marketing at 15. I guess we can go through the chapter names. So 4 was smells, 5 was marriage, 6 no clothes required, 7 goodnight, 8 so much blood, 9 impossible deja vu, 10 chambers, 11 who and where, 12 new life, 13 brain malfunction, 14 kicked when you're down, 15 Bella, Edward, Emmett, Rose and plots, 16 the last person, 17 I love him not, crap, 18 the truth is in the closet, 19 International Hate Renesmee Day, 20 Venom Bites, 21 Escaping Death, 22 It's Just Rain, 23 8 Things We Were, I don't know, 24 Truth, Lies and Karma, 25 Coronation, 26 In Cold Blood, 27 Drugs and Drowning, 28 The Best, 29 Praying Over Biblical Proof, 30 Old and New Faces, 31 Water Under the Bridge, which is actually the last chapter, so let's scroll all the way down. I'm just gonna read the last 2 paragraphs of this. All right. As I stepped in the car, taking my seat next to Jake, I realized this is exactly where I should be. Nobody could ever make me feel so complete like Jacob could. Just by being in the same room with him made my stomach do little slips. Sure, I meant flips. Still, after all the things we've done together, all of the crap that happened in 1 month's time was all... I wrote bridge under the water, but I'm sure I meant water under the bridge, considering that was the chapter title. And all that mattered was my husband, my child, and my family. Oh, spoiler alert, I guess she has a kid. As Jake pulled onto the highway heading towards the sign, wrote Sigh, that said this way to Washington, for the first time in a long time, I felt like I was going home. And as I blasted the radio, my favorite song, When It Rains, came on, providing my feeling of happiness. I'm gonna now go to the other one very quickly. So this one is called Got Dynamite. Preface. All right. It'll be a great opportunity. They all told me, but I bet none of them thought that great opportunity would lead to more things than just trigonometry. So there I was lying alone on my bed, staring up at the white ceiling, wishing I could just disappear. Our kind has eluded humans for centuries. No matter how advanced our technology has gotten, they still haven't found us. Yet, because Alice can't see my future, they'll know, and because humans age and get jobs, they'll know. Not only were humans the problem right now, but we are also having issues with newborns trying to take back the science fiction world as a one species category. I rolled over groaning loudly as I found my mission exam sticking out of the basket on the end of my bed. There it was, my signature to show it was really I to take this test, but what that signature actually meant was I just signed on the dotted line for a future unlike any other. What? I mean, I guess like I really do have to read my other story because that made absolutely 0 sense. Oh good. The second chapter after the preface is Keep It in Your Pain. All right. And how old was I? 15. Great. All right. Then it's Trust and Takeout, Digging Your Own Grave, Motherhood, Warnings and Lessons, Red Rum, Murder, we love The Shining, Holes, another great movie, Rumors, great song by Lindsay Lohan, Counting the Days, don't have anything for that, Minnie Ashley, oh, she's back, Doors, good band, No Doubt, another good band, and Dying. But I spelled it like you would dyeing your hair. And that's where it ends. So yeah, I then never finished this story. I don't really have much else to say. Then I pray none of you find this, even though I gave out what this title is called so you could easily search it. So yeah, that is me reading my Twilight fan fiction for all of you. All right, if you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.